Before we attempt to drill through armor plating, let's once again drill through spring steel to see how much speed is lost. I'll once again increase the weight on the pulley to 20 pounds and lower the RPM to 340. And the high-speed steel DeWalt survived the first attempt through spring steel, but it gave up quickly this time and is no longer making progress. The spring steel caused a lot of damage to the geometry of the cutting edge. The Makita is off to a pretty slow start, just like the DeWalt. And the Makita did last a little bit longer than the DeWalt, but it did give up after about 30 seconds. The Makita did make a little bit more progress than the DeWalt. The Makita also experienced quite a bit of wear and tear from the spring steel. The German-made DeWalt Cobalt drilled through the spring steel in only 21.89 seconds the first time, and the DeWalt is about 4 seconds slower this time at 25.71 seconds. However, the DeWalt is beginning to show more wear and tear. The Comaware is made of M42 Cobalt, which should experience less wear and tear than M35 Cobalt as long as it doesn't chip away from being too brittle. And the Comaware is less than 1% slower this time at 21.94 seconds. Very impressive! And the Comaware still looks nearly as good as new. The GM Tools did experience quite a bit of wear and tear on the first attempt through spring steel, and the GM Tools needs almost 24% more time to drill through the hole this time at just under 38 seconds. And the GM Tools is showing a lot of wear to the drill tip. The Bosch also experienced a pretty bad chip during the previous encounter with spring steel. However, the Bosch is made of M42 and only needs 7% more time at just under 30 seconds. And the Bosch looks about the same as it did after the previous attempt. The Caroler really struggled with mild steel after experiencing quite a bit of damage from the spring steel on the previous attempt. And it took the Caroler very close to 3 minutes to drill through the spring steel this time, and it looks in even worse condition. Let's go ahead and skip the high fire since it did not successfully drill through the mild steel. The Milwaukee is now the drill to beat after drilling through the spring steel in only 17.65 seconds on the previous attempt. And the Milwaukee continues to outperform the competition at only 19.46 seconds. Very impressive! The Milwaukee still has plenty of life left in it. The Warrior did experience a lot of damage during the previous attempt to drill through the spring steel, and the Warrior is making very slow progress and some very fine shavings. Unfortunately, the Warrior has given up just short of drilling all the way through the spring steel. The chips to the leading edge really hurt the Warrior. Drill America was still looking good under the microscope after the last encounter with spring steel. However, the Drill America needs 24% longer this time at just under 32 seconds. There's definitely quite a bit more wear and tear now. The Irwin also held up really well after the last test on spring steel. The Irwin needs just under 4 additional seconds this time at around 28 seconds. The Irwin is still in pretty good condition. The Drill Hog is made of M42 Cobalt and it held up really well after the last test. And the Drill Hog only needs around 7.68% longer this time at 31.1 seconds. Just like the Irwin, the Drill Hog also held up really well. The Viking is also made of highly durable M42 Cobalt steel, and the Viking only slowed down by just a little at 8% and is finished in just under 35 seconds. And the Viking is still in really good condition. So the Milwaukee is still the drill bit to beat at 19.46 seconds. The Comaware finished in second place at 21.94 seconds. Another factor to consider is durability, and the Comaware experienced the least amount of performance loss at less than 1%. Bosch finished in second place at 7.21% and Drill Hog third at 7.68. In the final test, let's see if any of the drill bits can drill through AR500 armor plating. I'll slow down the RPM to 250 and I'll increase the weight to 25 pounds, which works out to around 220 pounds of downward force on the drill bit. Let's skip the DeWalt and the Makita bit since they did not survive the second attempt at spring steel. And the DeWalt Cobalt started off making slow progress but completely stopped making progress at around 14 seconds. The DeWalt now looks pretty dull. The very affordable Comaware has outperformed the more expensive competition throughout the showdown. And the Comaware completely shredded the AR500 in less than a minute. Very impressive! And the Comaware is still in pretty good shape. The GM Tools is made of M35 Cobalt. And the GM Tools ran out of steam at around 20 seconds and I ended the test at around 52 seconds. The tip on the GM Tools is pretty dull. The Bosch is badly damaged but is made of M42 Cobalt. And the Bosch is making very slow progress but is refusing to quit. And the Bosch finally quit making progress at around 2.5 minutes. The two really bad chips really hurt the performance of the Bosch. The Caroler experienced quite a bit of wear and tear in the previous test. And the Caroler ran out of steam at around 20 seconds and I ended the test at around 42 seconds. The AR500 did cause quite a bit of wear and tear. The Milwaukee is a very fast drill bit, but the AR500 is really slowing down the Milwaukee. And the Milwaukee is only the second drill bit to defeat the AR500 and it did so in 1 minute and 17 seconds. However, the AR500 did take a toll on the Milwaukee. The Drill America is made of M35 Cobalt. And the Drill America ran out of steam at around 20 seconds and I ended the test at around 30 seconds. This AR500 is really hard on drill bits. The Irwin held up a lot better than most of the other brands and is making steady progress through the AR500. And the Irwin just defeated the AR500 in the second fastest time yet at just over a minute. And the Irwin is still in pretty good shape. The drill hog also held up really well throughout the showdown. And the drill hog is also making steady progress. Unfortunately, the drill hog ran out of steam just before finishing the job. I ended the test at just over 2 minutes, and the drill hog doesn't look too bad, but the AR500 was just too much for the drill hog. The Viking is another very durable set of drill bits. And the Viking also made very steady progress and is the fourth and final brand to defeat the AR500. So the Comaware finished in first place at 58.69 seconds. The Irwin drill bit was almost as fast at 60.29. I measured the progress of each of the drill bits, and the Comaware, Milwaukee, Irwin, and Viking were the only 4 drill bits to finish the job. Drill hog was less than a millimeter away from completion. So which drill bit set is the best? The left side of the scorecard includes some basic information about each drill bit set that was not included in calculating the winner of the review. I've converted the raw performance into a first to last place ranking for each set of drill bits. And a very affordable Comaware drill bit set came out on top with the best average finish of 1.6. It drilled very fast through both mild as well as spring steel. It also came out on top as the most durable, showing the least amount of drilling speed loss. The Comaware was only one of 4 drill bit sets that successfully drilled through the AR500 armor plating, and it was the fastest of the 4. The Comaware would definitely be my choice, and it's a terrific deal for M42 Cobalt bits at less than $40. The Milwaukee also performed very well with an average finish of 2.4. It's a very fast twist drill bit, but it does seem to experience faster performance loss compared to the Comaware. Just like the Comaware, the Milwaukee was also able to drill through armor plating. The biggest downside to the Milwaukee drill bit set is that it does not include a half-inch twist drill. On the other hand, the less expensive Comaware set does include the half-inch. Irwin performed well with a 3rd place finish. It is more expensive, but it does include 29 pieces. It's not as fast as the Comaware and the Milwaukee, but it is a very good set of bits. I also really like the Viking drill bit set, even though it had an average finish of 5.4. It's not nearly as fast as the Comaware or the Milwaukee, but it is a very good and durable set of drill bits.